Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Q&A with me and Lily. How are you today, Lily?
I'm doing amazing, Sandra. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. It's kind of cloudy outside, so it's kind
Mm.
of dark in this room. It's been raining all week, and I think we have more rain forecasted for the rest of the week. But other than that, it's great. Just waiting for the sunny weather.
Yeah, we've
How
been
is
getting
it
a
in
lot of rain
Canada,
here
by
too.
the
I'm
way?
based out of Toronto. It
Okay.
feels like spring today, not even winter. Usually we get a lot of snow. So it's a little rainy here too.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, I'm ready for that spring weather. So, what questions do we have today?
Yes, I have four amazing questions from entrepreneurs. So the first question comes from Jen. So Jen is asking, I want to quit my job and start my own business. Where do I begin? It's a really good question.
Wow, I agree. Okay, I think there's a lot of different ways to answer this question depending on what Jen wants to do, whether she wants to start an online business or a brick and mortar store or something like that. So, but I think that a good way to start, whichever option she's going for, is to make like a business plan, not like a rigid business plan that you have to stick with, but something to get you started. So a business plan can be just simply like, what is it that you're going to do? What is it that you're going to sell? Who are you going to be selling to? And how are you going to monetize this business? And where are you going to be running this business from? Like a location or online, and just making a plan that you can move the pieces around as you go and as you get deeper into the business. But I think that's a great place to start, just making a business plan. What do you think, Lily?
I think so too. I think a lot of, I'm both. I think that people should start as soon as possible, but there needs to be some sort of plan. And yeah, you don't have to write a 180-page business plan. A lot of business plan templates out there are too detailed and you don't need all that information, but you need some sort of plan. Maybe even 5 pages would be really good. The next thing I would add to that is make a list of people that you can learn from. I go through this all the time with my clients who are aspiring entrepreneurs. And sometimes they're going into a field that has never existed before. I was working with someone who wanted to create jobs for people who are in the poverty line. And she's like, I don't even know where to begin. I'm like, well, make a list of people. Even though in the beginning, she wasn't sure who to really think about. And she's like, well, you know what? I do know someone who makes local jewelry. Maybe I could connect with her and see if I could help her out. It's great. So make a list and reach out to people. I think one of the most important things that people can do is leverage other people's strengths and ask for help. I think we don't, as entrepreneurs, we don't like to do that. We like to do everything on our own. And it's great. You can do everything on your own, but you could get there a lot faster if you got help from other people. And people are willing to help you out. If someone came to me asking for help, I would definitely help out and give
For
back.
sure. I totally agree. Yes, ask for help wherever you can. There's people who've done it all before, so just looking at the path they took and following in those footsteps will really get you started.
Absolutely. And there's tons of free resources out there too. Like what Sandra does. Sandra, you do a lot of how-to videos. You give them so much knowledge and information, and this is great. This is a great forum for people who want to start businesses, Sandra.
I agree with you. Yes, I try my best to put out information that I know people are looking for, and maybe even if it's just leading them to the right resources. So once you start doing this research, one thing will lead you to another, and it's all about making your business plan, like Lily said, not too detailed, but to get you started and start researching, and you'll get there. The pieces will start coming together.
Yeah, it's true. I like it. Okay, so the next question comes from Tom. Tom is asking, what's the best way to start a business without any capital?
Okay. I think that online businesses, it's easy to do with, it's easy to start without any investment. I'm not so sure about like starting an actual business with an actual location and employees. That's probably not what he's talking about anyway. But when you start like an online business, it's easy to start because, like we're talking about, there's so many resources out there, and it's all about starting small. If you want to start a business, start with something small. Um, and I think content marketing is a big part of starting a business without any capital. So content marketing is basically what I do, what Lily does. We just share our journeys, our experiences, what we're learning, and that just attracts our ideal clients to us, and then we can offer something to further help them. So that's how you can start a business without that much money. So start up a blog or a YouTube channel or somewhere where you can share information where you're an expert at. And if you feel like you want to work somewhere where you're not an expert at, then there are free resources for you to learn more about this. There's so many platforms online that offer literally like full courses about any given topic. There's Udemy, which is not that expensive, where you can look up any sort of course to become an expert at something, and then you can share that knowledge on a blog, like I said, or YouTube channel. So I think those are some ways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it.
I think that's
I
a
think that's
very
a
underestimated,
underestimated.
underappreciated business is the content marketing that you're talking about. And I think a lot of the times people don't do well in the content marketing sphere because they don't see immediate results yet. So when you're putting out YouTube videos after YouTube videos after YouTube videos, you're like, I'm not making any money from this.
I
But it
think
will come.
because
If you do it day in and day out,
yeah.
eventually people are going to start to ask you questions. Hey, I love this video that you made about how to write a book. Can you coach me in writing a book? Because now you've become the authority of someone who wrote a book and went through the process. And it does come. It does come. It's just you have to be patient and put out consistent content. That's the most important thing,
Yes,
I believe.
I totally agree. I think that comes a lot from they hear it a lot where people go online and start their business and it's immediate, or I don't know, a lot of people fantasize about how fast it should be, but really it's an online business, and starting a business without that much capital using online is no different than starting an actual business. You
Yeah.
don't go and start an actual business and open up shop and then everyone comes and it's an instant hit. Maybe sometimes that happens, but for the most part, it doesn't. And it's the same thing with online. It's mostly done through content to attract people to you, and it takes just as long, which is normally like 2, 3, 4 years to be well established, well known, and an expert in your industry. So I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Need to
I agree. And you have been at this for a while now, right, Sandra? Like day in content and content. And it's great. And and now it's paying off. It's showing that you're seeing the results. But there's so many people out there, I come across this all the time, that just want to give up within the first couple of months. Like, oh, I'm not getting subscribers. I'm not getting any views. I'm not getting any comments. I'm like, it's okay. Just keep at it. It's fine. It's going to come. It's going to come. Don't worry. It's going to be good.
for sure.
One thing I do want to add to that about starting a business without any capital is a service-based business of some kind. If there's some kind of service that you can provide. I'm also a service-based entrepreneur. As much as I put out YouTube content and all of that, I also am a coach. So when I started out, all I had was my time and my hard work. And I would just meet anybody. People are like, I need help with my life. Sure, I'll come meet with you. I'll just go for coffees after coffees. And eventually people started to see me as someone who could help and get people results. And then I turned that into a business. So service-based and online is great if you don't have any capital to begin with.
Great point. I agree. Great point. So that can also translate into not online business, like any service-based business, mowing lawns, daycare, anything that you want to start, you can learn how to do and not invest a lot of money up front.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's that entrepreneur. Her name is Kristen Hadid. Have you heard of her?
Never.
Kristen Hadid. She created this, so her story is so inspiring. She wanted a pair of really expensive blue jeans when she was in university, and she couldn't afford it. So she started her own business in cleaning dorm rooms. And now she has this like multi-million-dollar business. I forget what it's called. Oh, okay. When I find out, I'm gonna send it to you so you could put in the link below. She has like this huge business, and it's students, like it's a maid service by students. So, and then she
Wow.
just She just wanted a pair of blue jeans. That's all she ever wanted. And she went out there and created a business for it. And now she's a very successful entrepreneur. And she wrote a book called Permission to Screw Up, Kristen Hadid. Yeah, she's
I'll
pretty
have to
inspiring.
look into that. Oh, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, she's very cool. I'll send her over the link when I get the chance. I just thought about it right now. Okay, so next question, Sandra, comes from Brad. Okay, this is a cool one. It's very specific. Can you recommend some personal development workshops? I live in the US. That's good because we're both North American.
Right, yeah. Okay. Well, I don't really have much to add to this question because most of my personal development is done through courses and books and stuff like that. So I don't really go to any workshops around this area. I have been to several, which was Rich Dad Poor Dad. He comes here often. What's his name? Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyos, is it Kiyosaki?
Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. I go to his workshops, and he's mostly about business, not so much self-development. And Terry Savelle, I forget her last name, but she's like a faith-based personal development teacher, and I go to her workshops often, and she's great if you're into faith self-development. She teaches a lot about goal setting and just believing. So those are the only two that I've been to, but I don't really have any others that I know of.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I most of the content that I do consume is online, and it's or through books, audiobooks. I've done online workshops, but in-person one, there's one that I went to that was quite amazing. It is a little bit pricey though. It's Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is Unleash the Power from Within. That's the one I went to back in March, so almost a year ago now, and it was incredible. Incredible. It's worth the money. And I think the one that he did, was that?
I was gonna say, do you really think so? I've always wanted to go to a Tony Robbins workshop.
Yeah, it's so expensive. I know. The cheapest one is Unleash the Power from Within, and sometimes he does sales, so you could get it for like maybe $700. I've seen it for $700. His other workshops are like $20,000, $30,000. I'm like, no, it's a little bit expensive. But it's worth it. It's worth it. A lot of the stuff that he covers in the event you could get free online. But there's one day that is. I remember when that day happened. I left. I'm like, what just happened? Like, what just happened? It was so intense, but it was really, really amazing. And that alone, I can't tell you exactly what the details were, but it's basically taking all your limiting beliefs and just like crushing it completely. And it was really, really good. So I would recommend that. Unleash the Power from Within is the one that I went to by Tony Robbins. The rest of them I've never been to. I would love to. If I had the money, I would. But I don't have $20,000 to go to his Date with Destiny one. But maybe one day. I do. It's worth it, though. His stuff is worth it. I agree. Okay. What else? What else we got? We have last question, Sandra. We go through these so quickly.
We do, yes. I feel the same way.
Because you're very practical. That's what it is. You're like boom, 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 point, point, point. I like it. Okay, tight. Okay, so last question actually comes from Rajesh. Rajesh is saying, what do I do when my family doesn't support my dreams?
Okay, so I think the first thing is to realize that sometimes people don't really see our vision the way we do. So it's not really that they're trying to be negative about it or not really support you. It's just that they care about you and they feel like you may be headed down the wrong path and they're just trying to help you out. Even though it may not seem like it, sometimes it really is done out of love, that people care about you and they don't want to see you fail and they don't want to see you get your hopes up for something, for your dreams, and then it not happen. So I think that's the first thing, to realize that it's not done maliciously. And then so what would I do if my family didn't support my dreams? I'm trying to put myself into that situation. I think that I would just work on it anyway. Just work on it anyway. Try not to try not to have that much conflict and just keep it to myself. If you know someone isn't believing in your dreams, then don't share that much about it. It's already hard enough for us as dreamers and trying to get things done to like get past self-doubt, and then sharing it, that kind of just puts more on us. So I think try to keep it to yourself, try to keep working on it anyway, and just know that it's not done out of like they're trying to hold you back. They're just trying to help you because they love you.
Yeah. I think 95% of the time, that's the truth. It comes from a place of care and love. Because if you think about back in our parents' day, my parents are older, and for them, being an entrepreneur or pursuing something in the arts, it seems like you're destined for failure. You're destined to live a life that is not great and it's not successful, and they're concerned about your happiness and they don't want you to end up on the streets. But things have changed since then. Things are very different now. You can earn a great living by being an entrepreneur, being an artist. So yeah, 94% of the time, it's because they care and they want you to do well in life. In that case, I would over communicate and let them know, and just try to involve them in some sort of way and start to show them some results. Like, look, I am doing well. I'm okay. So now that's on the positive side. And then there's a 5% that maybe they're just not good people to be around. And at that point, people have to make the decision. Like, I mean, if it's your mom or if it's your dad, that's a hard thing to do. You can't just cut off your parents. Most people can't do that. So limit your exposure, like what Sandra's saying, like keep it to yourself and just keep working on it. You're going to be okay. And then the last part is, if your family doesn't support your dreams, we need the help. We need the support and encouragement. Find people who are like-minded and like-hearted, and to get that support that you're not getting from home, because it's easy to give up when you're lonely and you feel like there's no one encouraging your dreams. So find people who care about you, who can support you. That's going to help too.
For sure, I agree. Having that support when there's not that many people around you who are going after the same things as you, it's kind of hard, and it'll probably ease your load a little bit to do, as Lily said, surround yourself with people who do support you,
Yeah.
and while you show results, and then maybe they'll kind of start jumping on your dream as well. So I agree with you, Lily. So those were some great questions. Thank you so much for being here again, Lily. So
Thank you, Sandra.
seems so short, but hopefully y'all got value out of these questions. And if you have any questions yourself, make sure to leave them in the comments below, and I'll get back to them as soon as possible. And I hope y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for being here, Lily, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Bye-bye, everyone.